What's up, Wargamer? First of all, this is a raffle video. I will explain it shortly. And the first thing we have to do is to say hi to Burning Games. We have today with us Elios and Carlos.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Pleasure to be here.
A pleasure for me interviewing you today. So, of any of you that are interested in this raffle video, we are going to raffle one copy of Faith, an RPG game. And for getting in this raffle, you have to follow some easy steps. The first one, you have to be subscribed to our channel. The second one, you have to comment. You have to give like and share the video. And the third one, you have to comment raffle Faith RPG. Okay, so we can assign you a number. Later on in this month, we will give you everyone a number, and we will make a raffle video live, so you can see who is the winner. So we have a nice Kickstarter here about a role-playing game, and also some kind special, isn't so, Arturo? Oh, sorry, Carlos.
Yes.
Sorry.
We are very happy with the results, and well, it has been a lot of hard work the last few months. People are really liking it. We have been on Kickstarter like 28 hours now, and that's 20 hours without sleeping for us. And well, we are quite happy with how things are turning out.
Something that catches the eye really fast on this Kickstarter, the picture, the illustration, is the first thing what the buyer can see. You have really nice illustration, and the draw makes a really good work. How many artists are involved in this project?
We have two illustrators. The main one is Milan Nikolic, an illustrator from Serbia, and he's done most of the concept design. And the second one is Alexa Brasic, which is our most recent addition to the team. And they are both amazing illustrators. And then on the graphic design side, Alexandra Bilic has done all of the final graphic design of the cards, the logos, and many other things.
This game is really peculiar. We find some new stuff. There are a lot of illustration, not only in the book, because you have a book that explains this universe, but because you have or you use a new system for playing this role-playing game, and that are the cards. All the game is based on the card play, a poker-like deck, and with really nice illustration. How do you got the idea to use for role-playing game, putting away the dice and using cards?
Well, we wanted to replace the dice because we weren't comfortable with the randomness of dice rolls. You can just get one and fail, or get a 20 and succeed for no reason. With the cards, you can manage your luck, so you can choose when you are going to shine and succeed at something that seems really difficult, and you will have also to use your low cards and fail sometimes.
We should mention that the way Fate uses cards, basically we give to each player a hand of cards, and whenever they must play one, they can choose one of those cards from their hands, and that's why Elio mentions that you can manage your luck. And with dice, that wouldn't be possible. I also wanted to add that there are so many great RPGs already out there that use dice that we wanted to do something a little bit different. That maybe if you're interested in trying something different, maybe you like it.
So with the cards, you are managing also to get a new target, a new play target. You are getting closer to card players like Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, or Pokemon, whatever they like, and you also are managing to get a little closer thanks to your display. I will share it now so that people can know what I am talking about. The display for the character sheet here, this one. Mm-hmm. You are targeting also board game people. So something I have to say is that people doesn't have to be afraid. This role-playing game is really narrative, really story-driven. The story is the main part. Only the system is more accessible for people that plays card games and tabletop games, and doesn't scare them away when they see a character sheet full of numbers and tables they have to fill out. So we have here some character sheet where you can see that some spaces where people can actually put tokens with the value of the characters, their abilities, and some special effects, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. We like calling this a pen and paper role-playing game with no pen and no paper, because you don't have to write anything down. It's everything is in the tokens and the character board.
Mm-hmm. And so I think that is the most noticeable thing that we have about this game. So new that we haven't seen until now, this card system for randomness. This is only one deck, because you have, for each player needs one player deck, and then there are some NPC deck and also another one.
Yeah, it's a gear deck.
A gear deck, actually.
Basically, the gear deck replaces long lists of items in the book, and having you write down in your character sheet what exactly are you carrying. Visual references are very important in a sci-fi setting, because it's harder to imagine that fantasy settings. So here you have some cool gadget from the future. You will have an image of it and all the information you need to use it in a single card, and you can keep it as a player.
Mm-hmm. From role-playing people, or even the doesn't work. And also for people that are used to being master and playing the game, how will be the approach to this new game? I think this is all a new system, but will it take a long time to learn, or it's more accessible as traditional role-playing game?
Well, this is a whole new system, but we believe it's really simple. A player can learn it in just a few minutes by reading the basic quick start rules that just take 2 pages, but a game master can take maybe, I don't know, a couple hours. It's definitely not your traditional 400 pages long rulebook. It's just short and sweet, to the point. This is a narrative game. It's not you get a -1 because you are carrying a 5 kilos backpack. Nothing like that. It's really simple.
Yes, I think it's also interesting, because even if a role-playing game, you can play it with a character sheet that's paper and the rule book and some dice. There isn't much places where you can actually play comfortable this game. This game allows maybe also putting away the dice roll, so you don't need a clean surface where you can roll, and you can also play in other places. Do you need actually for playing this game having the display with all character sheets and numbers, or can you?
Well, each player is supposed to have a character sheet, a deck of cards, the playing cards, and also they usually have a figure care cards, unless they have been kidnapped and drugged and everything has been stolen from them. So you need some space, and we recommend it to play on the table. But I mean, you can do whatever you want with your game.
Yes, for people that doesn't understand that, we have been talking in the Spanish interview, and here in Spain we have some expression from people that goes to the beach. They play a lot of different games. Los domingueros. They play also some easy card games from having fun while they are taking bath and having sunshine, and they are taking the sun bath. And this game, it's actually quite fitable for that situation. But this question was more that we don't really need a big table. We have seen also there's some play bars where people goes actually and plays board games and plays also some role-playing games. They have a table, they take a game, they puts themselves and plays with their friends while they're taking a beer or some coffee. So that was my the direction of the question. It needs some space because bar tables are quite small, actually as big as maybe a dinner table that everyone has on his home.
I think our game stands between how little you need to play for Fate and how much you need to play for Shadowrun. We're between those.
I'm sure a lot of us, of all gamers, the dice rolled or our role-playing game sessions gave us fun moments to remember and to talk about friends. I think this game opens a new gate of possibilities with our geek friends that makes every time something suspicious or surprising that we didn't expect. So for me, myself, it's thinking what can happen or what can get worse when we are playing with this new system with my geeks friends. So I think this game system looks really fun. It's easy to understand. The rule book is about 110 pages, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
120 pages. It's supposed to be 120 pages. And about 60% of that is going to be fluff.
So we can expect 40 pages of rules and the rest fluff.
Yeah, more or less.
About that. So it's really so now the major part, thinking away the game system, is the background story, the universe. What can we expect about Faith? What do you have to offer in this science fiction future that is Faith?
Go ahead.
Well, the main species of the universe of the game are the Corvo, which are a highly technological species that lives in huge space stations because they contaminated their planet so much that they now can't live there, and they are very individualistic. They are always trying to achieve the greatest personal gain they can. And then there's the other species, which are the Ithkal, who are very social. They are trying to build a community for everyone to live happy, and then because they understand the world so differently, they are in constant conflict. There's no open wars because both of them are really powerful, and an open war would just obliterate all their colonies, and obviously they don't want that to happen. So there's economic conflicts, there's black operations sabotaging each other, there's undermining each other's political systems, all that kind of stuff. And the way the universe is connected is through wormholes. There's a huge wormhole web, which is called the Labyrinth, that connects thousands of different star systems, which will allow the players to explore the universe and will allow game masters to invent new settings, explore new planets, make up new species for the players to find.
And don't forget to mention May.
Yeah. We are proud to say that the idea for the Labyrinth was given to us by an astrophysicist that is doing his PhD at the Imperial College in London. So this is something that can actually happen in the real universe. Theoretically, yeah.
So, taking about theoretically, what's your about the possibilities of your game? What are your main influence of developing these games? What are your inspiration where you took to create, to massify, to bring life to this universe? You obviously one is this physicist. You have now explained it, but in story, background, movies, comics, what are you influenced?
Mostly books, such as Hyperion and Spin, and games. We have, well, so many games, like we could mention all the super important ones.
Yeah.
Shadowrun, Eclipse Phase has Eclipse Phase has crazy fluff. But we also have been inspired a lot by taking a look at science and what they plan to do, ideas that people have. Also, a lot of concept art of people who are working in designing movies and maybe their own stuff. These people are really trying new things, because sometimes things that actually get published, they tend to follow a path set by what is now
mainstream.
now is now working as a product. But these concept artists, they just doing their own stuff for their own, and they explore very interesting things. So we have spent thousands of hours in Pinterest and DeviantArt.
So it's not the answer I was expecting. I was more expecting about a more direct answer like Star Wars or Star Trek. So I think many people would also like to know what influenced more you, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars over Star Trek. You say now Star Trek over Star Wars?
I say Star Trek over Star Wars.
Yeah. Everyone's happy.
Nice strategy. Really nice strategy. Before we continue with this chat, we have first questions. It's from Reed5Cherry, and he's asking if can you tell how you keep track of damage, health, and also your money?
Damage health is actually quite easy because we have tokens for damage. So there is a space in the character board in which you can place your damage tokens. There is two types of damage in the game. Neural damage, which you normally receive when you screw up when trying to hack something, when your cortex is directly connected to it. And sometimes for when someone tries to knock you out. And physical damage, you get that when someone shoots at you, cuts at you with some knife or whatever. So you keep track of it with tokens, and it's fairly simple. It's not very different from other games.
Yeah, probably we should mention that the characters don't have a lot of health points, so it's usually just maybe 2-3 points of damage. There's no like 30 or anything like that. It's very easy. It's well contained.
Yeah, people usually have from 2 to 6, and some very badass characters can get up to 10. Yeah, 10 is the maximum.
Yeah.
But you have to be very focused on that. You like a tank or something like that is going to have 10 points of life. No one else.
Mm-hmm. So really interesting. So we will continue asking some questions more about the fluff and the world of faith. Now you have explained that for traveling they use wormholes. So we can. That's mainly because there isn't speed of light, there isn't warp speed, there isn't anything that helps to travel fast with your ships through the universe. Your only way is to use these wormholes that connects to infinite other worlds, almost infinite.
I think it would be cool to mention that there is no way to send data through the wormhole unless in very specific conditions you could, but most of the time you can't because the way the wormhole works, all the information you send gets distorted and lost, and there is all kinds of echoes and things. So each star system is a little bit isolated from each other. And what very big star systems do is basically they have these spaceships that storage data, and they keep going from one to another, so they can keep up information.
Yeah, they can sync the networks from the different star systems.
Exactly, but if you go to a remote
mining colony or something like that,
you are on your own. We want to make space feel dangerous, and we wanted to make it mysterious and a little bit. We want you to feel like you are discovering stuff, and it's not just there.
I think it even made think that you want the player to feel, or the PNG, the non-player character, feeling like alone. A system is alone because there isn't communication. It's like the medieval age where you have to wait to the messenger that brings the courier and news, and then he goes back and has his time until it gets. It isn't like the accessibility that we have nowadays with YouTube, Twitter, and instantly anyone knows what you are talking about and get it. So that's kind of nice. But something important is that there isn't this possibility not because the technology isn't allowed to, or the technology isn't enough advanced to make that. It is because it is physically impossible in your universe that this can happen. So the technology of the faith is rather advanced in some culture. You have said there are the neurocortex. You haven't mentioned the word, but it means that the suits are actually connected to the player's mind and interact. So the technology, it's really advanced.
Yes, within a star system, everything is very much connected. Cities they are smart cities. The connection is very instantaneous. I mean, it will be like everyone's on Twitter all the time, times 10.
Yeah. But there is this disconnection between star systems that are very far away.
So I think that way we have the best.
A good mixture.
Worlds. Yeah.
A good mixture of both worlds.
Mm-hmm. And how looks technology in weapons and ships? How are they equipped? How they work? Will be there some space battles between ships? Or the starfighters?
Okay. There's not going to be that many space battles. Why? Because, as we mentioned before, the both mega species who fly around are not at war. They are fighting a cold war, and they don't confront each other directly. The kinds of weapons we expect that there will be in this universe will be so advanced and so powerful that these spaceships will be able to fight each other off without the need of any PCs. So that it's complicated to create a universe where you have very advanced things and you still need the individual hero. And that's basically who we want to be when we're playing an RPG, right? So there is not that kind of confrontation happening, and it is for political reasons. And there's not going to be that many people who have spaceships. It's not like having a car. It's more like having a yacht. Yeah, it's more like having a yacht. So there's not going to be that many space battles. Although there is a few species who do not care about economical and political reasoning, such as the Rapiger, and a few others, but we should keep that for later. And regarding personal weapons, we have firearms, neural weapons, and plasma weapons. And Eli is going to describe them because he's an engineer.
Right, yeah, firearms would be just your guns that use gunpowder, just normal guns, regular guns. Then neural weapons would be guns that use microwaves to interfere with your brain. so they cause neural damage and they make players confused, but the damage does not last forever. It recovers pretty quickly. And then plasma weapons use lasers to create a ball of plasma very close to the target. And this ball of plasma will melt everything because it's really, really hot and will burn everything, even the thickest of armors. So yeah, basically those.
We have railguns as well.
And yeah, those three types, and railguns, which are electromagnetic weapons. They use magnets, electromagnets, to accelerate the projectiles to great speeds. So sniper rifles would be railguns, for example, and they can shoot up to kilometers away.
Mm-hmm. So as I was listening to your explanation, it's wiping a name on my mind's faith at war. So in expansion in the future, we can know Cold War doesn't last forever. So let's look at what can you surprises us. Something really interesting to have the option of space war, but you're right. If you have two potential big countries, two big races with technology that can wipe each of one the other out, it isn't logical that they confront in direct war. And weapons for players in Hero sounds also really great. But I think there is another weapon. It is the binary code, the 1 and 0s for hackers, that are quite dangerous for other players also.
Yeah, hackers in Faith are a key part of teams. They play a support role, but it is extremely important. Hackers can act in real time, not just opening a security lock or something like that. They can actually do things in combat through what we call linkwave, which is basically hacking through Bluetooth. And, and they can, for example, deactivate the suits of the enemies, so they can no longer be invisible, or they can no longer use their augmented strength, things like that. And they can deactivate the enemy's weapons. They can hack into their Cortex connectors and cause them damage, things like that.
Is there possible to overrun the will of a character, so you can make them do something, hacking them, or there isn't?
There is one kind of suits or enemies to which you can do them. Basically, to drones and to robots, you could do that. And there is a suit that is called robotic, which is basically like a very small mecha, and you could control that. But most suits are moved with your own muscles, so you cannot control those. So there is a little bit of balance. Like sometimes you want you to, if you're fighting a mecha or something like that, you want to damage to him, make him lose time and get tired, and then give time to the hacker to turn it off and maybe make it his own.
A question about that. In your world, in your universe, will we find some artificial intelligence, or it's more like a virtual intelligence?
Okay, there is a little bit of that, but that's we want to keep. It's like it's a little bit of a secret at the moment, because we want to keep a few things on our sleeve for the actual release of the game. Because the game right now, you can download it from our page. It's free if you want to check the print and play. But we want to keep some things to keep the interest going. But for the most part, there is no artificial intelligence. There is what we call semi-artificial intelligence, which are supercomputers that can do most things, but they don't have a conscience.
They don't have conscience.
Yeah, exactly.
They are not self-aware of themselves. Yeah.
So really, you are picturing us a really vivid and cool world. Not only because you have already plot some worlds, some societies, some different cultures and races, but also you give the opportunity, thanks to the wormhole, that every game master can make up any kind of culture, society, and races for playing in different planets. So it's actually more important to travel through the wormhole to new worlds in your game, or it's actually more important playing in a world and developing the history in that world?
I think we leave that to each group of players. Do you want to explore the fluff of faith? Do you enjoy what is in the book? Go ahead and play a campaign in the capital of the Ithkal, in the space station of the Corvo. Or do you want to make your own stuff, your own thing? You can use all of this as background, and then go ahead, be a bunch of adventurers or misfits or whatever, take a spaceship, explore through the wormhole, and come out through it to some star system, and it is up to the GM to say what is going to happen there.
So it can, our viewer can make a mind up. It's like watching Stargate, where every episode they are in a different world. There are some also you are kind connected to the base where the first Stargate is. So it can be a ship, a player ship, and you are traveling. So this is another interesting question for players. It is easy to own a ship or to own a little ship, so you can travel to different worlds, because there is a card. People haven't seen it, maybe, or don't remember having seen it. I will show it. I am asking that because there is some kind of people that travels without ship, that travels only with the suits to the wormholes.
Okay, so, that's for him.
All right, those would be desperate Corvo immigrants trying to escape their border control officers. But so yeah, you can definitely travel just using your spacesuit and see what happens. And you can also travel in a small exploration vessel, like small spaceship, or you can be part of a mining expedition that travels in a huge freighter that carries hundreds of tons of materials and gear. So yeah, all the possibilities are open.
I think we want to talk a little bit about the gods, because that's after all what gives the name to the game. Sorry. Because the game is called Faith, and I think we should talk about it. Basically, the gods in this game, they work in a special way. They take role playing and they then put it into the mechanics, because each player can follow a god, and this god has some commandments. They work as moral compasses. They tell you how should you behave, what kind of person should you be, right? So as long as you follow those commandments and you stay true to them, this god can reward you with powers. The powers so grand that allow you to break the laws of physics. But if you break his commandments and you misbehave, on his opinion, then he will take those powers away from you. So this is a mechanic that basically rewards those players who play in character, and they just follow the way they believe his character should be, and the GM can reward that with powers that will make his gameplay and the mechanic part of the game more fun.
So for players that, to make that easier to understand for players, it's like if you play Dungeons and Dragons, and you get every time a reward every time you play lawful good with your paladin continuously, where you get rewards. For the more old players or old role-playing games players, maybe I should mention Stormbringer, that it's the most similar games that pops to my mind about this system. If you were good, you behave good, you became more faith points, and you get rewards. You can get a champion of that god. If you were more chaotic, and you play as chaotic as you can, the chaos god will reward you with weapons, with spells, with artifacts, whatever can you find in the game. So that's really interesting. How many gods are in faith?
There's 5 gods. Should we describe them?
Yes, shortly, sure.
You should describe it.
All right. There's one god for the individualistic, one god for those that want the best for themselves and just disregard all others, and that would be Kaliba. And then there's a god for those that want to be free and want to thrive, but
not follow any rules.
Yeah, not follow the rules of society. That would be Bexal. And then there's a god for those that believe in community and are always willing to do what's best for their community, even if it doesn't benefit themselves directly. That would be Ergon. And then we have Hexia, which is a god that... will you explain Hexia?
Hexia is for those that believe that the community is important, but communities should work the way they think it should work. So they want everyone to be the way they want to be. And then there is Ledger. And Ledger is for those that they simply want to watch the world burn.
So there are definitely more types to choose where the players can play. Are there some special affiliation from some gods to races, or are they rather independent?
Sorry,
Are goods?
we couldn't get the question.
Yeah, we lost you there for a minute.
Okay. Are the different gods some kind related to the races, or are they more independent? So I'm one race, and I can be of any 5 of the gods, or I have to be of one because it's the god of my race. Understand?
We didn't hear you properly, but I think you asked about if the gods are related to the species.
Yes. Can someone?
Was that the question?
Yes.
Yes. Well, the Corvo, I think each individual follows his own god, you know, and most people in this world of faith, they don't follow any god, you know. Sometimes they behave selflessly, and sometimes they sacrifice for others, as most people do in real life, I guess. So most people do not actually follow a god. The gods are for those people who have a very, very strong conviction, you know, like paladins could be. But you could say that Kaliba is the god you see the most in the Corvo society, and also Bexal for those who don't want to follow any rules, but they are not selfish. They want to help others, but they just don't want to be told what to do. In the Ithkal society, you would see the other 2 gods. Ergon, for those that believe that everyone should be equal and everything should work the same way for everyone. And also Exia, for those that believe the Ithkal society should work the way they think it should work. And Ledger is more of an underground kind of god, because like one of his commandments is do not create. So this god is for those people who are quite weird. There is like one cult who believes that all intelligence creatures should die because they are destroying stuff. They're destroying the environment. So they just want for everyone to die, and those would follow Ledger. We had a player who followed Ledger in one playtest session, and it was fun. It was random.
I'm not getting away the feeling that I could take hours and hours talking with you about the game, because every time you explain something, there come new questions, there become intriguing questions, more curious about the universe and how it works, and that is really something fantastic and says a lot about your game. Before we finish with the videos, for me, it's really important to state what actually the backers can get when they get a pledge on the crowdfunding of faith. So, what will they get in the box?
The box of the game comes with a rule book. It's a 120-page book. It comes with a gear deck with 54 gear cards, 4 player decks. Each player needs his own player deck to play the game, but they can also replace it with a poker deck if they want to. So we don't really want to limit people to play with other 3 people. We want you to play with as many friends as you have. So you just need a poker deck for that. Then the player boards, there is 4 of those, and all the tokens for you to create your character. There is a few cat illustrations, so you can choose a little bit how you believe your character should look like. But you can also print those on paper if you cannot bear to think to play without paper, you know. And there's people who hate it, so just print it out and it's the same. And then there is the NPC deck, and that's for the game master. That's to give him 54 NPCs to create fun confrontations. He can make his own new confrontations, but with 54 NPCs, you can play a few cool campaigns.
Something really important that we didn't say at the beginning is that if you are classic role-playing games you can play, you have actually a paper character sheet where you can print it and fill all numbers and names and draw and sketch and doodle on your characters as you like, and you have done 1,000 times before. But by me, it's some other questions. The gear deck has 54 cards. So are they all the same, or are there 54 items?
No. What? Sorry. There's 4 player decks, and each has 54 cards.
No. The gear card. The gear deck.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's at the moment there's 31 unique items, with some of the most common, like handguns or grenades, duplicated. But if the campaign goes well enough, we hope to unlock many more and have all of them unique, or even add new gear decks with many other items.
So that's also really important to know. Something that something I have to say is I have seen some of the drawings from the player deck with the 54 cards. They are amazing, and all drawings are unique. There isn't one that repeats. That's something really amazing. And you have also a special pledge on the Kickstarter campaign. It's an art book. It's something I think also interesting for people that likes this, because the drawings, the illustrations are really fantastic. And I think most of them would make amazing poster on the walls in rooms, or even framed posters, so they don't get wasted.
We will make a wallpaper of our home with that.
Oh, that's a lot of ink, but I think it.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. Looking forward.
That's gonna happen.
So I think we have talked quite about every important aspect about the game. I think I don't have forgotten anything. So before I give you the last word, remembering this is a raffle video. The rules are in the commentary box. If you want to get a copy of Faith, you can be the lucky winner of one of these copies. If the campaign gets successful and the game gets actually made. And also remembering people that you can go to the website of Warning Games and you can actually download and play test the game before you buy it. That's something really interesting, and I think really good, and says a lot about your company. And even if the name of your company makes too easy jokes, I hope Burning Games gets a lot of success with this campaign and with Faith, and we will also see some new expansions in card decks. That's something quite possible that we will do. It's something an easy way to bring new stuff in a cheap, fast way cards, and also some new books. So, do you want to add something else to this video so people should know?
We want to invite everyone to download the print and play. If you are not sure about if you will like the game, just try it. I mean, it's free. It's there for you.
And yeah, let us know what you think. We will be more than happy to hear all the feedback you can give us. The game is almost finished now, but we are always happy to bring in new ideas and improve it to make the best game we can. So yeah.
When the Kickstarter ends, we will have a 1-month process in which we'll be hearing feedback from all the backers to improve the game and to have the community also have their say in how the game works. And after that, the game will be finished and it will be sent to print.
How can new players, fans, get in touch? In touch with you. I think you have a Facebook page.
We have Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, email.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a forum?
What? A phone?
Forum.
Oh, forum.
We are on Reddit now. We have a subreddit, which works kind of like a forum. But the idea is to support an actual forum at some point if we get a community big enough for that. Yeah.
So we also talk a lot in the comments in Kickstarter. We're starting to talk a lot.
That's good to have feedback about the community, and I think even the experience of a Kickstarter campaign, people doesn't believe me, but it's really exhausting making and getting on with a Kickstarter campaign for everyone that makes it's. You get few sleep hours. It's really exhausting, but you get also a reward that is the feedback of the community and the cheers and everything good that you get back from the community as you give your time and your comments to it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we're exhausted but really happy.
That's really important. Also, thank you very much for being today with us, and I really hope to in a few days or weeks to hear that the Kickstarter campaign was successfully, and you have managed to print your first game under the seal of Burning Games. So thank you very much for being today with us.
Well, thank you for having us, and thank you for the good wishes.
So this is all Wargaming. Also, see you next. Bye.